Right, I'd just like to warn first because I don't want to startle.
I'm easily startled, easily spooked like a horse.
That's definitely going right at the beginning of the episode, with no explanation. Hi everyone,
context.
and welcome back to that Pokemon rating thing we are doing.
Hi everyone. Sorry.
Martin...
I keep interrupting.
Martwine Bryson.
God of string.
I like that. I like that. So, jumping right in, first off today we have Charmander, which is often cited as people's favourite of the starters.
I'm a little bit of a Pokemon hipster. I was never that into Charmander, and big part of it was because it's what everyone else liked.
Yeah, I think it's about the same for me. Even though I have multiple figures of Charmander in my room, I think it's just that I kind of accumulated them.
It was everywhere, and certainly I remember playing a lot of the Pokemon card game, and Charizard was the one everyone liked, and as a consequence I think the rest of the Charmander line kind of benefited from that. And yeah, I feel the design feels like it's trying too hard to be cute. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah. I like his fire butt.
Yeah, that's a neat detail.
I
do
like that he looks. I would have preferred it if they'd leaned in a bit more to the whole salamander thing, and given him more of a weird look that you get with a giant Chinese salamander, which is obviously what it's trying to quote.
Yeah. You should have made it less adorable and more sort of animalistic. I think it would have worked better.
Yeah. And also a bit less lizardy. I feel like it kind of blurs the line between the lizard and amphibian look to a point where I think it just comes across too much as a lizard.
I think most people, if they don't know the salamander origin, will view it as a lizard.
Yeah, which I think is a shame because I like the idea of because fire salamanders are a whole like cultural thing. I like the idea of them making a fire salamander that literally has its tail on fire.
Yeah, it is. The tail on fire does elevate it to me. I think as a designer, it's quite an effective little touch, and it does reference its origin in a nice way.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give this one 3 Pokeballs.
Yeah,
so I think it's about average for a Pokemon.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a Pokemon which is a nice little design. It's just nothing special.
And moving on to the shiny.
Doesn't add much to it, does it?
No, it actually kind of takes away from some of the contrast, I think. So I'm gonna give it a 2 because I don't think it detracts massively.
No, there's
but
nothing.
I don't. Sorry.
That's okay. I have to stop interrupting. And I wouldn't say. Yeah, it doesn't make it worse by any means. It's just sort of not much of a significant change.
Yeah, and like I think it does make it a little bit worse just because it takes away from some of the visual appeal, and it kind of it's kind of a bit too homogeneously coloured.
Yeah, no, now you mention it, I do see that. Yeah,
and that kind of works on some designs, but I think Charmander's too much of an organic looking design.
It's too rounded. There's not enough interesting about the visual. If you take that colour away, there's nothing about it that stands out, really.
Yeah, so I'm going to give that one a 2.
Yeah, I would as well. Definitely a 2 for that one.
Moving on, Charmeleon.
I like Charmeleon a lot better, actually.
I like Charmeleon. Yeah. I didn't used to when I was younger. A friend of mine had a Charmeleon costume.
Oh.
When I was about 4. I had Pikachu and he had Charmeleon.
I don't think I ever saw that.
That was a weird one for them to pick as the other option.
Yeah,
those were the 2 options you could get. Charmeleon, I like it. I like the way its arms kind of get wider as they get out.
Yeah.
I like it, the fact that it starts to have the whole crest thing that Charizard has.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it builds on Charmander as well as Ivysaur builds on Bulbasaur.
No, it doesn't feel like a natural change so much, but that's partly a flaw in the Charmander design, I think.
Yeah. One thing that it's not really Charmeleon's fault. It's more the fault of my perception. Is just that it suffers from Angry Eyes middle evolution.
Mm-hmm. It does, yeah.
Which is a thing that happens a lot.
It is. They always try to make... I think it's to make them look like more serious, more aggressive monster. We're ready to fight. But yeah, it comes off as quite silly.
So I think Charmeleon for me is going to stick around the 3 Pokeballs.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit better than Charmander, but not enough to get it another Pokeball.
I would say so as well. Yeah, I think so.
One thing that I would have liked is if they had little wing nubs starting to grow out the back.
That would have been good, yeah, to show a little more of that early Charizard kind of design there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you can see it, like the shape of the body has changed just enough that you can see where it's used in Charizard later.
So, shiny Charmeleon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it suffers from the same issue as Charmander. I'm just going to give it a 2 again. I don't have anything particularly more to say about it.
It's essentially the exact same change with the exact same problems. It doesn't add anything to it, and if anything, it sort of detracts from the colour contrast.
Yeah. So moving on, the big boy that everyone loves and wants to get on the playground.
The big jock of Pokemon.
Yeah, Charizard. I have never been especially partial to Charizard. I think it's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. This is kind of boring. It's exactly what you'd expect from a fire Pokemon, I think, and that makes it pretty dull as a design choice. It's just a dragon. I mean, it doesn't even have decency to be a dragon type.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that they didn't build up to it quite enough with Charmeleon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like the ways that it does do that. Like with having the head changing shape to about halfway between the two.
Yeah.
But I still would have thought wing nubs would have been a really cool idea for it.
It would have. I agree. Yeah.
My least favourite thing about Charizard is the blue wings.
Yeah, and it's like a weird colour of blue as well, isn't it? It's like a kind of turquoise blue, which does not work with the colour of the skin at all.
It kind of draws your attention away from the rest of the design.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly. So yeah, Charizard. I think it gets a 3 again, but it's a lower 3 than Charmander.
Yeah, it's like a borderline 3, I think.
Yeah, 2 or 3 in between there.
2.5, let's say.
Yeah, 2.5 Pokeballs. So, shiny Charizard.
Yeah.
I think shiny Charizard. Shiny Charizard. I think it gets a 5.
Really? Oh, that's a big improvement.
I think it gets a 5 because I think it improves massively on the original design. I don't think it is. I still think that it shares a lot of issues with Charizard.
Yeah.
But I think it improves by having... I think it's good as a shiny by having a completely different and interesting colour palette with the whole ash colours with the more crimson wings.
The specifically ash grey aspects of it I think really appeals to me. Yeah.
Ash grey and the crimson wings, and I think the wings are way better.
They are, yeah. They look more natural on there. They don't detract from the design the same way. It doesn't clash or distract from the rest of it. And it does highlight that there are parts of Charizard's basic design that could have looked better just with a simple colour change.
Yeah. So I think it gets a 5, not because I think it's the best shiny or shiny design, but just because it so massively improves how Charizard looks.
Mm-hmm. And can I say, like, with that colour scheme, it does something that the rest of the Charmander line kind of fails to do, and really make the fire tip of its tail really pop as a feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially the shiny versions of the earlier two. I think
Which actually lose it, if anything.
Yeah. I think a lot of the way the shiny Charizard works well isn't just in the colour changes, but the particular colours they chose to keep. Like having the exact same coloured belly and tail flame, I think really works.
Yeah. It shows more confidence in the design, I think, because they're willing to say, like, we like these parts definitely work.
Yeah, yeah. So that one gets a 5 from me. What do you think?
I would say a 5 for that one as well. I really like it.
Nice. So you just watched our second part of the video. Now we're going to go off and record Squirtle and friends. And we'll get back to you next time.
See you then.
See you then.